battling the raging elements, fighting the savage wilderness, striking at the enemies of man and nature. One man's name resounds from snow-capped mountains down across the sun-baked plains. Mark Twain! Guardian of the forest, protector of wildlife, champion of man and nature. Mark Twain!
When I'm looking up at you and smiling, my legs are getting shaky, but I'm smiling. You keep looking down on me, trying to make me lose my way. But I don't seem to know the thoughts I'm thinking anyway. You're just a face in a crowd, trying to bring me down. You're just a face in a crowd. Oh, you're making my life a drag. You're making my life a drag. You're just a face in a crowd, without a doubt, we check and see. I'm running fast away from you. There's no escaping you, I know. Time don't seem to call what you know more. I'm sinking fast into this okay door. I slide away through many dying leaves that shape my form like some unknown disease. Yeah, some unknown disease, child. Wow, yeah. Trying to bring me down, but don't bring me down, honey. You're just a face in a crowd. Oh, you're making my life a drag. You're making my life a drag. You're just a face in a crowd, without a doubt, which I can see. Yeah. Oh.
Green Telescope, the second single, or is it the third? That's called Face in a Crowd, and I'm not sure about that noise at the beginning of it. I think I may have a duff copy of it, but a good record for all that. And tonight we've got the Radio 1 debut of Anhrefn, and we've also got a repeat of our session from the Inca Babies. And I rather suspect that our William is getting a bit too big for himself, because over the weekend he had a haircut, and I was having a sort of wrestle with him afterwards, and he got quite cross with me because I'd disturbed his hair, and he said, "Get off the hairstyle, man, you've fractured it." Is that any way for a child to speak to his father? This is for William. It's Tila Rock.
With a shout and it's bound to stain a part in your heart right before I start. Try your best with the rest to figure what I've got. What I invent, I intend to intimidate you. It will be a slam dunk on your said virtue. I make your head curl, head swirl, put you in shock. I possess an element to start you on my job. When I finish, I'll diminish, then I'll laugh in your face and try to build up your ego, put it in the right place. On a scale of intelligence, I score a 10. It will be a revelation from beginning to end. And programming drum tracks. Production work is shit between my brain I will rack. No matter what the job I'm at, I'll always do it well. My skill not perpetual, I'll only excel. To a point where I remain superior to all. I'll handle any task, no matter big or small. As for my rapping capability, I'm never underrated. When it comes to smoking lyrics, I'm always nominated as the #1 contender winner in the hip-hop race. All competitors, I'm sorry for now you must face the ultimate challenger, of course, that's me, super rapper Tila Rock, undisputed MC. With my voice so stimulating, speech so seductive, one can't help but find themselves reluctant to attend the performance of another vocalist. And so you will probably never rap like this. Breaking bell. I'm an intellect, a brain-trained advisor, a cute or so astute genius that's wiser than Attila the Hun. And I've only begun to display my talent, which is second to none. I'm a pro. When it comes to the show, I'm capable of moving the role of people who came here tonight to hear me recite my poetry that's guaranteed to excite all music lovers. My name is Tila Rock, close friends call me Terry. Rate me great and far from ordinary. Though some will highly rate me, others will hate me. Try to deny the fact they're greatly envious of a person like me who positioned in the rap world is permanently at the top. And I will not cop out to others who feel that I am a threat, but there is no need for worry until you have met super rapper Tila Rock. Fresh out the pack, moving at top speed, giving you no slack. So to all your competition, you better keep fishing for a way to convey a message to position you right where you wanna be so you can attack. But remember, you're dealing with a person who's practically as clever as a fox, deadly as a snake. Like pressure once applied to an egg, I'll break all over you and now dish your face. And just in case you're wondering, how can a person like me be so unique in the art of rapping to the beat? I won't be discreet. I'll be cool, calm, nonchalant, plus gentle. For to me, your rhymes and lyrics are simply fundamental. Breaking bell. DJ Louie Lou. Greg Knight.
No respect for the older generation, today's young people, I'm afraid. That's Tila Rock, and is on Fresh Records and plays a 45, unlike most American imports, which play a 33. But I spotted that. That's Breaking Bells, and here's the first from the Inca Babies, The Depths.
sympathy. Place your eyes burnt out. Yeah, we'll antifreeze. And his boys will take it down. Oh, I so like you roll now. I'll lay me down. We're down to the depths. I've been there before. And this sorry soul like you better look up. Why down to the depths? Yeah, down to the depths. Why down in the depths? Something turns a key. You got a key to my heart, or a silver bullet for a start. It's a sad old place, real sad place, the depths. You got a light bulb, man. Ain't a glowworm in the depths. Why so like your own? Now I'll leave you down. Why down to the depths? I've been there before. And this sorry soul likes you better. Why down to the depths? Not down to the depths. Why don't meet the gaze of Judge McCloyd? He has no idea about sympathy.
Those are the Inca Babies, and that's called The Depths, the first from them tonight. And in one of the Sunday newspapers, there was a little late in the day, it must be said, a kind of 10 years of punk, where are they now, with before and after pictures, that sort of thing. And one of them I was rather surprised, although pleased to see, concerned Noel Martin, who used to be the drummer with Menace, a chap I used to see from time to time, occasionally have a beer with, a nice man too. The before picture is actually, I think, of Morgan Webster singing with the band rather than Noel, but nevertheless this inspired me to play one of Menace's tunes. This is I Need Nothing.
You got your letter cards and your flash on tricks. Your bullets come running every time the bell rings. You got your mates waiting on your head or foot. Me ain't right away, covered in soot. Cause I don't care what the ordinary say. I'm gonna live my life my way. Too many people lost, people leave a dream. Hey man, I need nothing. Say I'm living on a borrowed time, no waste all I got. I need some man, spend a hard work, so keep your mouth shut. Don't shut your fish and then just touch my gun. I don't care what the ordinary say. I'm gonna
That's produced by John Cale. I was rather surprised to see. I hadn't noticed that the first time around, or perhaps I had, but I'd forgotten. On illegal records, anyway, from years and years and years ago. Well, 10 years ago, that's Menace and I Need Nothing. Is it actually 10 years? Jolly nearly 10 years, anyway. And I was listening to, I just caught, I'm afraid, only the end of Simon Mayo's programme, because he's sitting in for Bruno Brooks this week, but delighted to hear that Petrol Emotion, or that Petrol Emo, as they're known to myself and others, and also the record by Babla and Kanchan, and nice that somebody has picked up on that, I must say. This is from Brigadier Jerry, and it's called One Dance Story.
Rastafari. Let me tell you a story now. One dance can do. What one dance can do. Imagine me and my daughter went on the dance floor. Come on! I had to make a leap, so I went through the bathroom door. A man was bringing my daughter to the car of his right eye. And when they come back, she and him locked so tight. I said, please, get out the general way. I said to him, please, get out the general way. And I said, what one dance can do, that is what one dance can do. Then imagine, it can make you kill your people, top up your wife, tie your rope round the neck, and commit suicide. Them the things, you know it don't right. Sit down, read your Bible, and think wise. That is what one dance can do. What one dance can do, that is what one dance can do. What one dance can do, listen me good. Imagine, buy her a house, buy her a car, take me last money and rent her a bar. Last week Sunday she and the next man a spar. Back me watching knife and full of face a scar. Gun a stitch and bullets are coming SLR. Buck up on the bricky big time superstar. Them say girl, get out of that red locks way. What one dance can do, that is what one dance can do. What one dance can do, that is what one dance can do. So, let me tell you a story now. What one dance can do, what one dance can do. Let me match you, my God, come on. Yeah, my daughter went on the dance floor. So, I had to make a leap, so I went through the bathroom door. A man was bringing my daughter to the corner of his eye. And when I come forward, him and I laughed so tight. I said, please, get out the general way. I tell him again, please, get out my way. What one dance can do, that is what one dance can do. You know, you can't make a kill of people, top up your wife, fry a rope round the neck, and commit suicide. Them the things, you know it don't right. So down, read your Bible, and think wise, and please, get Satan out of your way. What one dance can do, get Satan out of your way. What a wicked little girl, Jesus. Imagine living, buy her a house, buy her a car, take me last money, rent her a bar. Last week Sunday she and the next man a spar. Back me ratchet knife and full of face a scar. Run gun a station bullets a come with SLR. Back up on the brigade they want big superstar. Them say girl, get out the general way. Please, oh God, please get out the general way. Tell her one more time what one dance can do. That is what one dance can do. What one dance can do. That is what.
This is Brigadier Jerry and One Dance Story, and the first from our debut session from Anhrefn coming up in just a moment. Welsh language band, of course, as you must know by now. Session produced by Dale Griffin, engineered by Mike Robertson and Mike Schilling, and I asked bassist Reese to explain the songs before we played them, so that he would pronounce the titles correctly.
Enw Garnama are the Action Man. This song is called Action Man, and it's an anti-war or anti-conscription song, John, and public.
That's Anhrefn carrying the banner for the Welsh language bands. It's called Action Man. More from them, of course, later in the programme. This is the debut single from Manchester's The Weeds. I think it's Manchester. Another corker from Intave Records. Those are The Weeds, their debut single, which is called China Doll. That's me talking over the end of it. And at the end of last week, I went to see Zig Zig Sputnik and was talking to an American bloke there about the work of Lightning Hopkins. I wonder if he ever heard this one, Jackstropper Blues, slightly pre-Dolby.
Jackstrap, some jacker have stole my gal. Yes, some jackstrapper, some jackstrapper have stole my gal. Yes, you know you can tell by that. Or you know I don't feel so well. I've been looking at the people, and everybody been looking at me. I've been looking at the people, and everybody been looking at me. Yes, they've been wondering what old Jackstropper has stole my gal from me. Yes, but if you take my woman, I won't get mad at you. Just like you're taking mine, I'm gonna take someone else's too. That old jackstrapper got slick, stole my gal from me. That's the reason I can't be happy this morning now. Don't you see I wonder what old jackstrapper stole my gal from me. Yes, you know I'm thinking to myself and wondering, oh Lord, who can it be?
Scratchy but fun, Lightning Hopkins and the Jackstropper Blues.
Radio 1 News.
At 10:30, Leslie Cohen reporting. The Commonwealth leaders at the London summit are tonight trying to agree on a communique over what measures to take against South Africa to persuade the government there to bring an early
Part of this programme I'm doing on my knees, and this isn't because of any misplaced sort of humbleness on my part at all, but because in the course of the day, something which I explained on Janice's programme earlier on in rather Walters-like detail, so I won't do it again, but I had to rescue two small birds from a chimney, which involved standing at a most peculiar angle and pushing upwards. In the course of doing this, I damaged my back, but you'll be pleased to hear the birds were rescued, and after a bit of recuperation, flew away. What a wonderful person I am. This is from... No, hold on, where I've lost my place. So this is from... actually, I have completely lost my place. Oh, these are the Inca Babies, and this is Dresden. The Inca Babies, an LP will be with us shortly, I'm advised, and that track's called Dresden. Now, our other guest, Anhrefn, play... Oh, hold on a second, what is the date today? They play tomorrow night, August the 5th, at the Eisteddfod Hall at Fishguard. That's at 12:30pm, that is. And then tomorrow evening, also August the 5th, of course, they play with Dat Blugie and Roy Jones, and they're all at the Railway Club, Goodwick, Fishguard. Goodness, like that I can pronounce all... Oh, here we go. I knew it wasn't going to be all that easy. On Saturday, which is August the 9th, Anhrefn play with another one of the bands whose names I can't pronounce. I've been taught how to pronounce it, but I've forgotten. CYRFF, anyway, and Igam Ogham, and all of these appear with the Paralytics and others at Rydal Playing Fields. My goodness me, I've played on Rydal Playing Fields. Without distinction, it must be said, but I've certainly played there. I could tell you a tale or two. That's in Colwyn Bay, in aid of Greenpeace, an outdoor event starting around midday and finishing about 6pm. So that's Saturday, August the 9th, Rydal Playing Fields, Colwyn Bay. And then on August the 30th, says Reese, at the Marine Hotel Aberystwyth, we celebrate your birthday when all of the acts on the label appear at our annual festival. This is the Anhrefn label. Proceeds to Anti-Apartheid and the Welsh Language Society. See poster, he says. The second one from Anhrefn coming up now.
Enw gan yma ydi Dawns y Duwiau. This song translated means dance of the gods, but I wouldn't exactly say it's a pro-religious song.
Sorry, I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. Well, I was listening to the music quite clearly, but somebody has sent me what is the longest letter I've ever received in my entire life. And I was just thinking, how can anybody have had the time to write that? Somebody writing from near Ramsey in Cambridgeshire, a letter which is quite clear. I mean, it is actually a book-length letter, which is going to take me most of the rest of the week to read. Anhrefn, and that's called Dawns y Duwiau, or thereabouts. And from the Janitors, a record I've been waiting for some time, a mini LP on In-Tape Records. This is partially the title track, in that the title of the whole work is Thunderhead, and this is Johnny Thunderhead.
Posters and names say we want Johnny Thunderhead. Johnny Thunderhead, Johnny Thunderhead, hello, hello.
Now give me the banja. Now give me the banja. Now give me the banja. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun. That is it, Allah, me say, come is that the girl I run down. Is it, Allah, me say, come is that the girl I run down. That the life, love as a card, the girl I run down. Me run I don't permanently live in home. Me get shot up, some me tell I say me done. Me run I don't permanently live in home. Me get shot up, some me tell I say me done. Because no, I'm not time lasting and I have fun. Because no, I'm not time lasting and I have fun. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun. If I some carriage and it full of ballon. If I some down, fill it up like June plum. If I some down, fill it up like June plum. But give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun. No wanna bun, yeah. Me no wanna bun. Me no wanna bun, yeah. Me no wanna bun. Why, joy? Becoming get me that, and me soon get me done. Me get me that, and me soon get me done. You know the little and last girl I run down. Me no take no coffee, me no take no opium. Me no take no beer, me no drink no white rum. And when them sing it loud, them just a run me down. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun, because wanna bun, me no wanna bun. Wanna bun, me no wanna bun. Wanna bun, me no wanna bun. No wanna bun, yeah. No wanna bun, yeah. No wanna bun, yeah. But now, give me no bun, no give me no bun, girl. Give me no bun, no give me no bun. Cause this is all I miss, and it's them the girl I run down. This is all I miss, and it's them the girl I run down. Love a jack, a daddy like a them the girl I run down. Me run, I don't permanently live in come. Me get shot up, so me tell I say me jump. Because no, I'm not time lasting and I have fun. Because no, I'm not time lasting and I have fun. Oh yeah, yeah, but now give me the banja. I cannot give me the banja. Oh, me get the cat and me so warm me son. Me get the cat and me so warm me son. Me no take no cocaine, no opium. I mean no drink no beer, I mean no drink no white rum. Oh no, I want you to know, yeah. Because me run I don't permanently live in home. Me get cat and me tell I say me son.
That's Little John and Give Me No Bun. It's been a good year for Little John records. Prior to this year, I hadn't really cared for his stuff a great deal, but he's had some good ones this year, I think. That's called Give Me No Bun. Did I mention that already? And before that, from the mini LP Thunderhead, The Janitors, and Johnny Thunderhead. And that one not issued, not in the shops anyway, for a couple of weeks. The 18th, I think, such a day, August the 18th. This is from James, and this is a record I heard Janice play earlier on this evening. It's one of those records that sounds wonderful on the radio, and it'd be nice if it was being played during the daytime. Perhaps it is. It's on a major label, so there shouldn't be any problem there. This is So Many Ways.
There are so many traps been laid. How can you avoid one? Put your foot down in a moonlit glade. Snap your ankles broken. I don't know how decisions get made, which of the turns to take. It doesn't seem to matter what plans are laid. You can't tell when the wave will break. So many ways.
That's James, of course, on Sire Records in so many ways, the current single, and also worthy of attention is the LP, which I know Janice myself have been playing a bit, and we'll play more, I don't doubt. Now, here's a chance for you to swallow some of your prejudices, always a good thing, I think. Well, I'll tell you what this is after you've heard it.
Sorry, baby, gonna make you mine. Sorry, baby, you look so fine. Sorry, baby. I don't mean sorry, baby. Second church, a ramble my baby, my shooting star. Sorry, baby. Transit, transform, transexy, baby. I don't mean maybe, don't mean maybe. I don't mean maybe. It's sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. She sets an arcade dream. I'm on with a bolting boom. Yeah, she's the one from a pleasure store. She's the one that gives me more. Silicone sex, mass button, baby. Like no another baby. Sorry, baby. She's my baby. Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. I don't remember. Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby.
Well, now that's Zig Zig Sputnik, and I went to see them at the end of last week, playing in London, and was... Actually, that's them as well. And was slightly disappointed, I must confess. In fact, because I'd expected them to be really outrageous, and I genuinely wanted to be offended by it and come out of there like saying, this is quite outrageous, which is really the way it should have been. And it wasn't like that at all. As I say, they were really rather dull live, but I suspect that they probably feel that things have gone slightly wrong. I mean, I may be misjudging them, but I think they probably imagine that things have all gone wrong now. And the LP, though, on the other hand, which I listened to after I'd seen them live, the LP is called Flaunted, from which that was taken, is really much better than I thought it was going to be. All this sounds terribly patronising, but the point is that if it was an LP that had been made by somebody that you'd never heard of, you'd think, hey, that's a remarkably good debut LP. But because of the ludicrous expectations that you might possibly have as a consequence of everything that's gone before, then you might seem disappointed in it, if you see what I mean. Does any of that make sense? I think we'll move on. These are the Rumblers.
but yes I can. If you can cheer me up, I can learn to love you. So love me and cheer me up. Show me you're the one who can make me happy. Love me and cheer me up. Show me you're the one who can make me happy. Cheer me up. Come on and cheer me up. Don't wanna spend the rest of my days in yesterday's daydream. Don't wanna spend the rest of my days giving yesterday's promises. Don't wanna spend the rest of my days living yesterday. Don't wanna spend the rest of my days singing yesterday's love song. No. Come on and cheer me up.
And of course, don't forget it's our function here at Radio 1 to cheer you up day after day. Those are the Descendants, and that's called Cheer, and that was for William and Ed, amongst others. Before that, the Rumblers and Boss from a Charlie LP called Boss Twang. I think that's what it's called, something like that anyway. That's close enough. And speaking of Radio 1, tomorrow, of course, we'll all be celebrating the birthday of Stuart Neal of Kajagoogoo. That's also Pete Burns' birthday. And on his programme tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, Mark Hebden, featuring the Bat Phone and all of those things, will also be giving you a sneak preview of the new Top 40 Singles chart. Be there or be somewhere else. This is...